Welcome all in this lecture of statistical mechanics. In this lecture, I will discuss about statistical distribution. The topics will be covered like identical particle, ideal gas in microcanonical ensemble, indistinguishability, Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, Bose-Einstein statistics, Fermi-Dirac statistics, most probable distribution, occupation number, grand partition function. It should be mentioned that text and figures of the slides have been incorporated from the book Statistical Mechanics by R. K. Pathria and P. D. Bill. At first, I will discuss about the concept of identical particles. This particular page is from the book of Wang. In quantum mechanics, atoms are identical in the sense that the Hamiltonian is invariant under a permutation of their coordinates. To illustrate the concept, we can consider two particles with respective coordinates r1 and r2. So, the wave function can be represented as psi r1, r2, and interchange of the coordinate can be represented by a permutation operation p on the wave function. So, p psi r1, r2 equal to psi r2, r1. So, whenever the operator p operates, the coordinates interchange. That is, here r1, r2 and here r2, r1. Now, if you again operate p on the left side, so the left hand side will become p square psi r1, r2. So right hand side will become p into psi r2, r1. But as p operates on psi r2, r1, it will become psi r1, r2. So if you compare the left hand side with the right hand side, then surely p square is equal to 1. As the Hamiltonian is invariant under permutation, so PH P inverse equal to H. This means that operator P and H commute. So P comma H is equal to 0, and we can simultaneously diagonalize them. Now I will describe this derivation. So here what we will show, that is, if psi is an eigenfunction of capital H, that is Hamiltonian, with energy eigenvalue E, then so is P psi with the same energy. Now let us check the derivation. H psi is equal to E psi. It is sure because E is the eigenvalue of H. So now operate P on the left hand side. P H psi is equal to E P psi. Why? Because E is constant. So here is E. Then P into psi, P operates on the wave function. Now in the next step, what we are doing, that is PH. PH is unchanged here. PH. Now you are writing P inverse P. You can write it P inverse P. This is equivalent to 1. So PH psi is equivalent to PH P inverse P into psi. And the right hand side is same. Just I am writing in this way, that is E into P psi. Now PH P inverse equal to H. PH P inverse equal to H. So in the next step, you write H P psi is equal to E into P psi. So if the energy is not degenerate, then P psi and psi must describe the same state, because H psi equal to E psi, again H into P psi equal to E into P psi. So P psi and psi must describe the same state. And P psi can differ from psi at most by a normalization factor. Since P square equal to 1, we can choose that factor to be plus minus 1. Thus we can write that is psi R1 comma R2 that is equal to plus minus psi R2 comma R1. That is, the wave function must be either symmetric or antisymmetric under the interchange of particle coordinates. Particles with a symmetric property are said to obey Bose statistics and are called bosons, while those with the antisymmetric property are said to obey Fermi statistics and are called fermions. The wave function gives the probability amplitude of finding one particle at R1 and one particle at R2, but it cannot tell us which one, as they are identical. Now, I am going to discuss about various types of statistical distribution. For that purpose, what we are considering some ideal gas enclosed in a volume V. So we are discussing ideal gas in quantum mechanical microcanonical ensemble. So we consider a gaseous system of n non-interacting indistinguishable particles confined to a space of volume V and sharing a given energy capital. The statistical quantity of interest in this case is capital omega, which is a function of capital N, capital V and capital as per the condition of the microcanonical ensemble. We know that for microcanonical ensemble, these three parameters, that is N, V and E, are fixed. Now, what is capital omega? Capital omega denotes the number of distinct microstates accessible to the system under the given macrostate. For large V, the single particle energy levels in the systems are very close to one another. We may divide the energy spectrum into a large number of group of levels, which may be referred to as energy cells. So these are the energy cells. This is the first cell, second cell, third cell, fourth cell and so on. Let epsilon I denote the average energy of a level. So if this is a level, so epsilon I is the average energy of this level. And what is Gi? Gi is the number of levels. That is, if you consider these cells, then you can see that these cells has been divided into a number of levels. So Gi is the number of levels for the cell. So for the first cell, the number of levels is G1. For the second cell, the number of levels are G2. For the third cell, it is G3 and so on. In the ith cell, we assume that all Gi very greater than 1. Here you can see from the figure, that is, the number of levels in the first cell is G1 and G1 naturally is very greater than 1. In a particular situation, we may have N1 particles in the first cell. Here it is given as N1. N2 particles in the second cell. N2 particles in the second cell. N3 particles in the third cell and so on. Clearly, the distribution set must conform to the conditions sum of Ni equal to capital N. Capital N is the total number of particles. So set Ni means set of number of particles in each cell, that is N1, N2, N3, N4. They will compose a set Ni. So that set Ni, that is sum of Ni, that means N1 plus N2 plus N3 plus N4 and so on, that will be equal to the total number of particles capital N, and sum of Ni into epsilon I is equal to capital E, that is the total energy of the system. Sum of Ni epsilon I means that is N1 epsilon 1 plus N2 into epsilon 2 plus N3 epsilon 3 plus N4 epsilon 4 and so on. Why? Because in the first cell there are N1 number of particles and average energy is epsilon 1 for the first cell. So N1 into epsilon. For the second cell, the number of particles is N2 and the average energy is epsilon 2, that is N2 into epsilon 2 plus N3 into epsilon 3 in this way. So sum of Ni into epsilon y will give you the total energy of the system, and capital omega, that is number of microstate, is equal to sum of W, capital W Ni. Now what is capital W Ni? Capital W Ni is the number of distinct microstates associated with the distribution set Ni. So you have to understand the meaning of capital W Ni. What is capital W Ni? Capital W Ni is the number of distinct microstates associated with the distribution set Ni. Distribution set Ni means, I have already discussed that in a particular situation, it may have that there are N1 particles in the first cell, N2 particles in the second cell, and so on. But in different situations, the number of particles in each cell may vary. Okay, so capital Wni is the number of distinct microstates associated with the distribution set Ni. So Wni will depend on the set Ni, that is how many possible configuration of the states, because in different situation there will be different number of particles in the cells, and each particular configuration will denote a type of microstate. So as the set Ni varies, similarly the Wni will be the number of distinct microstates associated with the distribution set Ni. So depending upon the distribution set Ni, we will have a particular value of Wni. Okay. Now Wni is equal to sum of omega, but this is product. This one is product. Wni is equal to product of small wi. So what is small wi? This one is the number of distinct microstates associated with the ith cell of the spectrum. The cell that contains Ni particles to be accommodated among Gi levels. For example, you consider this cell here. N1 particles have been accommodated in the G1 number of levels. Clearly, small wi is the number of distinct ways in which the Ni identical and indistinguishable particles can be distributed among the Gi levels of the ith cell. For example, here N1 particles have to be distributed in a G1 cells, and this can be accomplished in different ways. So small wi is the number of distinct ways in which the N1 identical and indistinguishable particles can be distributed among the G1 levels for the first cell. This one is the meaning of the small wi. So this small wi will be different for different cells. So capital Wi is equal to product of the small wi. Now I will discuss about the indistinguishability and statistical distribution. Suppose there are three distinguishable particles named A, B and C. Now possible permutation in arranging these particles is 3 factorial is equal to 6. Number of particles are 3, so 3 factorial is equal to 6. And the possible distribution, it may be written in this way, that is ABC, ACB, BAC, BCA, CAB and CBA. Total number is 6. Now if you say that two particles A and B are indistinguishable, that is A is equivalent to B, then number of permutation decreases because ABC is equivalent to BAC because AB and BA is same. A is equivalent to B. ACB is equal to BCA. Why? Because A and B, they are equivalent. Similarly, CAB is equivalent to CBA. Thus, total number of permutation now reduces. At first it was 6, but now it is 3 as two particles are indistinguishable. And mathematically, you can obtain the number of distribution if we consider the indistinguishability factor, then it becomes 3 factorial divided by 2 factorial. Why? 3 factorial was the total number of distribution possible and you are dividing by 2 factorial. Why 2? Because two particles are equivalent. So 3 factorial divided by 2 factorial and this will give you 3. In general, if you have total capital in number of particles and we are distributing the particles as N1 particles in cell 1, N2 particles in cell 2, N3 particles in cell 3 and so on, so that sum of Ni equal to capital N. Thus, total number of possible permutation is capital N factorial, that is total number of permutation possible if you consider them distinguishable, divided by N1 factorial into N2 factorial into N3 factorial into N4 factorial and so on. So why we are dividing? We are dividing considering the indistinguishability of N1 factorial because this N1 factorial term will not give any new significant result. Similarly, the N2 factorial means that the permutation between the N2 particles, as they are indistinguishable, they will also not produce any new result. So N factorial divided by N1 factorial, N2 factorial and so on. This factor, that is 1 by 1 divided by N1 factorial and N2 factorial, is generally referred as Gibbs correction factor. This factor is used whenever you will consider the case of indistinguishability. For MD statistics, this is the look that there is a term e to the power minus. So e to the power minus alpha is equal to z. So this left hand side, that is PV by KT, is equivalent to small q. What is small q? Small q is the q potential. This small q is the q potential. So q potential is equal to PV by KT. This q potential is associated with the grand partition. We have to listen the lecture of grand canonical ensemble to understand this concept more clearly. So small q is the q potential, that is equal to PV by KT, and PV by KT is again equal to this one. What is A? A is equal to 0, 1 and minus 1 for MB, FT and BES respectively. And we have taken Gi is equal to 1. That is, we are considering grouping. We are considering single particle states. That is Gi is equal to 1. This is important. I have already told you earlier that is we will use this concept of single particle states. So Gi is equal to 1 here. Now small q is equal to PV by KT. We are writing this expression, that is small q is equal to ln of capital Q. Ln of capital Q. What is capital Q? Capital Q is the grand partition. So PV by KT is equivalent to ln of capital Q. This is again equal to sum of ln minus plus z e to the power beta epsilon. Here minus plus symbol, why they are used? They are used for FD and BE case. 1 for FD case and minus 1 for the BE case. So after considering FD and BE case, the value of A has been written here. Now from this expression, that is as ln of q is equal to this one, ln of q is equal to this one. So what is value of the capital Q? Value of the capital Q is equal to 1 by 1 minus z into e to the power minus beta epsilon for the BE case and 1 plus z into e to the power minus beta epsilon for the FD case. So for the FD case you have to consider the plus sign and for the BE case you have to consider the minus. Suppose you are considering plus sign. So plus sum of ln 1 plus z e to the power beta epsilon. It means that suppose ln, as there are summation symbol, so it is equivalent to ln a plus ln b plus ln c. So you know that when you add ln a plus ln b plus ln c, so it will give you a into b into c, product form, in product form. That is why product of 1 plus z into e to the power minus beta epsilon. Now if there is a minus sign here, so minus of ln a, it means ln a to the power minus 1. So ln of 1 by a, again I am repeating, minus ln of a means ln a to the power minus 1. So ln of 1 by a. So when there is a sum, so ln 1 by a plus ln 1 by b plus ln 1 by c. So ultimately it will give you 1 by a into 1 by b into 1 by c, like this. So 1 by 1 minus z into e to the power minus beta epsilon for the b case. But here you look at the denominator. In the denominator, there is 1 minus z into e to the power minus beta epsilon. So z into beta e to the power minus beta epsilon, that must be less than 1. Why? Because if it is not less than 1, ultimately it will be negative. But capital Q cannot be negative. Okay. So otherwise we will have log of negative number which is undefined. So it cannot be negative because ln Q is there. Log of ln of negative number. So z e to the power minus beta epsilon, that must be less than 1 to get a proper value of capital Q or small q. Otherwise, it will be undefined. So z e to the power minus beta epsilon less than 1. Now, if you put the value of z, what is z? Z is equal to e to the power minus alpha. So e to the power minus alpha into e to the power minus beta into epsilon, that is less than 1. And this expression is equivalent to mu less than epsilon, because alpha is equal to minus mu by kt and beta is equal to 1 by kt. So if you put all the values and if you simplify it, so z into e to the power minus beta epsilon less than 1, this inequality is equivalent to the inequality mu less than epsilon. So for the Bose-Einstein case, the chemical potential must be less than equal to the epsilon. This is very important concept which will be used later. This concept, that is for the Bose-Einstein case, mu is always less than epsilon. Now, I have already told earlier, that is, we have to listen the lecture of Grand Canonical Ensemble to understand the concept of Q potential and grand partition function properly. So I am just telling you that if you know the expression of Q potential and grand partition function, then you can calculate several thermodynamical parameters. For example, if you calculate the average number of particles n bar by this formula, that is Z into del Q by del Z. Similarly, you can calculate average energy by this equation, that is minus del Q by del beta. You can also calculate the mean occupation number in a particular state by using this formula. So if we know the expression of either Q potential or the grand partition function, then you can estimate several thermodynamical parameters. Now we will discuss this parameter, that is occupation number. Here, after employing this formula and after simplification, we have obtained that is occupation number in a particular state, that is mean value of n is equal to 1 by z to the power minus 1 e to the power beta epsilon plus a. Okay. Now, look at this expression, that is average of Ni is equal to 1 by e to the power epsilon minus mu by kt plus a. We will discuss this expression for the three statistics. So if we plot this, plot the occupation number with respect to epsilon minus mu by kt, so you will get three curves for three statistics. So if we put the value of a for respective statistics, so you will have three types of curves. 1, 2 and 3. Curve 1, 2 and 3 is for fermion, boson and Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics. Curve 1 is for, this curve is for fermion. Curve 2 is for Bose-Einstein statistics, and curve 3 is for Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics. In the Fermi-Dirac case, the mean occupation number never exceeds unity. You look at the curve. This value is 1. This is 1. Now, maximum value of this curve is 1. So, in the Fermi-Dirac case, this curve never exceeds 1. For the variable n epsilon itself cannot have a value other than 0 or 1. For epsilon very less than mu, and mod of epsilon minus mu very greater than kt, the mean occupation number tends to its maximum possible value 1. Here epsilon minus mu is equal to 0 at this point. You check that here it has been written 0. So here epsilon is equal to mu. In the right hand side epsilon is greater than mu, and in the left hand side epsilon is less than mu. So in this region, that is where epsilon less than mu and mod of epsilon mu by kt very greater than 1, that is in this region, when the value of this factor, modulus value of these factors, mod of epsilon minus mu by kt increases, at that time the value of the occupation number reaches close to 1. For the Bose-Einstein's case, mu is always less than epsilon. So for the Bose-Einstein's case, you are obtaining this curve here. Because why? Because mu is always less than epsilon. Here mu is equal to epsilon, and in this region mu is less than epsilon. So you will obtain this curve in this particular zone only for the Bose-Einstein case. In fact, when mu becomes equal to the lowest value of epsilon, say epsilon 0. So epsilon 0 is the lowest value of epsilon. Suppose it is here. Here epsilon is equal to mu, that is exactly equal to mu. But lowest value means, suppose in this region when epsilon is very close to mu, in this region, the occupancy of the particular levels become infinitely high, because you see the curve too. In this region, that is when epsilon is very close to mu, the value of the n epsilon, it becomes infinite. In this zone, that is when epsilon is close to mu. This phenomena is known as Bose-Einstein condensation. That is when epsilon is very close to mu, the occupation number in the particular level, which level? That is when epsilon is close to the lowest value of epsilon, that is epsilon 0. So epsilon 0 means the ground state. In the ground state there will be the lowest value of energy. So when chemical potential mu equals to the value of the energy in the ground state, then the occupation number in the ground state becomes infinite. So this phenomena is the Bose-Einstein condensation. After this point, when mu less than epsilon 0, all values of epsilon mu is positive, that is in this zone. When mu less than epsilon 0, that is in this zone, all values of epsilon minus mu are positive, and you are obtaining some values for the distribution. For MB case, A is equal to 0. Naturally, n epsilon is equal to exponential minus of epsilon minus mu by kt. So you are here you are setting A is equal to 0. So n epsilon equal to 1 by e to the power epsilon minus mu by kt. That is exponential minus of epsilon minus mu by kt. So if mu is fixed, so it can be written as proportional to exponential minus epsilon by kt. That means we are getting an exponential behavior for the classical statistic. This one is the exponential behavior. So curve 3 shows the exponential behavior for the classical statistics. The distinction between the quantum statistics and the classical statistics becomes imperceptible when for all values of epsilon that are practical interest, that is exponential epsilon minus mu by kt very greater than 1, that is in this region when the value of exponential epsilon minus mu by kt is very greater than 1, then all these statistics are same. This can be verified from this expression. So we are setting this first term, that is e to the power epsilon minus mu by kt, they are very greater than 1. You know that for P and FD case, A is either 1 or minus 1. So first term is very greater than 1. So ultimately its value is close to the MB statistics, because in MB statistics you know that occupation number n epsilon equal to exponential minus epsilon minus mu by kt. So thank you for the listening. For further reading, you see the book of R.K. Pathia and P.D.